starts off with the presence of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide in the atmosphere. And that can come from volcanoes, and it can come from decaying vegetation. But in the 18th and 19th century, with the Industrial Revolution, the use of fossil fuels was something quite new, and enormous quantities of those two gases were released and are still being released into the atmosphere. Now, that's the first thing. The next thing is the normal rain, as it just comes down through the sky, it dissolves the sulfur dioxide and the nitrogen dioxide, and that produces a weak solution of sulfuric acid. And sulfuric acid is a pretty nasty thing to have. It's not very strong, but if you look at say churches, which are mainly built, often built of limestone, that limestone is very vulnerable to sulfuric acid. And so you'll find, if you look at the statues on the outside of churches, and even the stonework, you'll find it's been damaged badly, and sometimes the whole face of a statue will have gone. And because of the volcanic emission of these gases has gone on, obviously, through geological times, that sulfuric acid has reacted with the normal limestone in the countryside. And so you get places like Cheddar Gorge, which are a direct result of the limestone being dissolved by the weak solution of sulfuric acid. When you get, even in dry weather, you'll find that in the natural vegetation will filter out these gases and the particulate matter, and it gets deposited on the leaves. And when the rain comes after that, it simply dissolves it, washes it down into the watercourses. And of course, that doesn't do the forest much good, and in fact, it can damage the water supply. So that in the local reservoir up here in Wales, they actually had to add an alkali to combat the presence of the acid water in the watercourses. And we had a situation where my laboratory was right up in high into the mountain, into the forest, and the water supply was coming down through copper pipes. Within 5 years, those copper pipes were perforated with little pinholes, entirely due to the acid rain dissolving the copper. So it's a real problem.